Hi, I'm Olivia, a custody advisor at Wall Street Prison Consultants. Today we're going to discuss identity theft. Identity theft, codified under 18 U.S.C. Section 1028, is the federal criminal statute where someone wrongfully acquired another person's personal identifying information for fraud or deception for economic gain, and is used by prosecutors to charge someone with identity theft. Identity theft takes many forms, with the most common types of identity theft being using someone else's social security number to get a loan or credit card, or using someone's bank account or credit card in order to steal their money, along with creating fake identities using information that is real, fake, or a combination of real and fake, such as using a fake name attached to a real social security number. Tax identity theft by using someone else's personal information to file a tax return and steal their refund, and employment identity theft by using someone else's personal information to pass a background check for a job or to get a job. Federal identity theft cases are primarily investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, and the Secret Service. The FBI normally investigates large-scale, complex ID theft schemes that have a large amount of loss, looking for large illegal schemes, such as using identity theft proceeds in furtherance of other serious crimes like drug trafficking. To create a meaningful ID theft defense, you need to keep in mind that the prosecution has the obligation of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed this crime. If the prosecution cannot prove the elements of the crime and provide compelling evidence that you committed the crime, they likely do not have a strong case. When it comes to proving the elements of identity theft, the prosecution would need to show that the following aspects of this crime took place: knowingly transferring or using another person's identity, lack of lawful authority to use the other person's identity, intended to commit, aid or abet unlawful activity through the use of another person's identity. Unfortunately, prosecutors can take details and attempt to spin them in a way that makes suspects appear guilty. Remember that for a prosecutor to obtain a conviction, they have to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that you acted with fraudulent criminal intent, but if there was no intent to defraud, you should be able to avoid a conviction and show the alleged illegal activity was simply an honest mistake. If evidence is uncovered the government violated your constitutional rights during the investigation and the judge agrees, the evidence can't be used against you, often leading to a case dismissal. Here's a short example of ID theft. In San Francisco, Karen, a meticulous project manager, fell prey to an elaborate phishing scheme. An email, seemingly from her bank, alerted her to suspicious activity. She clicked the link, which led to a cloned bank site, unwittingly providing her account details to Mark, an East Coast cybercriminal. Mark accessed her account, siphoning off thousands. By the time Karen realized her error, her savings were severely depleted. Her ordeal is a stark reminder to verify the authenticity of emails before providing personal information. The Identity Theft Penalty Enhancement Act was created for enhanced penalties for aggravated identity theft. Federal prosecutors use 18 U.S.C. Section 1028A to charge an alleged perpetrator for using certain identity information, like stealing Social Security benefits, domestic terrorism, and immigration violations. The federal crime of aggravated identity theft is defined as anyone who knowingly transfers, possesses, or uses a means of identification of somebody shall, in addition to the felony penalties, will be sentenced to a mandatory minimum 2-year consecutive sentence, or an additional 5 years for terrorism. A penalty of up to 15 years in prison if somebody is convicted of identity theft that involves producing or transferring identification, counterfeiting, or having the equipment to produce documents. A penalty of up to 20 years in prison if convicted of identity theft involving drug trafficking, violent crimes, or has a prior ID theft conviction.